Steve McQueen portrayed the character of an anti-hero and was dubbed the King of Cool. He established himself as a top actor from the 1960s to the 1970s. As a genuine action actor who didn't rely on stuntmen, he built an era and thrilled movie fans worldwide. How did he overcome his troubled youth and become one of the highest-paid actors in the world? Let's begin. Steve McQueen was born on March 24, 1930, at St. Francis Hospital in Beech Grove, Indiana. His father, William Terrence McQueen, was a stunt pilot, and his mother, Julia, suffered from alcoholism. The couple divorced when McQueen was just 6 months old. Unable to care for her child, Julia left McQueen with his maternal grandparents in Missouri when he was 3 years old. Soon after, the Great Depression hit, and he moved to his grandmother's brother's farm, where he was raised in the Catholic faith. At the age of 8, he was taken by his mother to Indianapolis to live with her new husband. However, McQueen, who had partial deafness, struggled to adapt to the new life. His stepfather was abusive, and at the age of 9, McQueen left home and fell into delinquency, joining street gangs and committing petty crimes. Julia divorced her second husband and remarried for the third time, but McQueen clashed with his new stepfather immediately. The stepfather was not hesitant to raise his fists against McQueen and his mother. McQueen resumed his life of petty crime as a gang member. He was caught stealing hubcaps and sent back to his stepfather. After the incident, his stepfather persuaded his mother to enroll McQueen in the Boys' Republic, a reform school in Chino Hills, to straighten him out. The principal there told him, "You have potential. You're smart. You can succeed in the future." It was the first time McQueen had ever been praised by someone else. He began to change, to mature. After leaving the facility, McQueen worked various jobs as a sailor, carpenter, peddler, and even in the military, but none lasted long. Eventually, he arrived in New York aspiring to become an actor. At that time, New York was bustling with theaters, and television broadcasting had just begun. McQueen was torn between becoming an actor or a craftsman. However, after seeing the young girls flocking to the theaters, he firmly decided to become an actor. Captivated by the charm of show business, McQueen started auditioning. At the age of 25, he passed the audition for the Actors Studio, where luminaries like Marlon Brando and James Dean had also made their mark. McQueen began promoting himself with photos and eagerly accepted any job that came his way. He landed a role in the stage play A Hatful of Rain, which earned him acclaim from critics. McQueen also began dating Neil, who was rising in popularity on Broadway at the time. Eventually, McQueen left New York and headed to California. He lived on Vesta Avenue in the Echo Park district and searched for acting jobs in Hollywood. His appearance in an episode of Westinghouse Studio One, called The Defenders, caught the eye of Hollywood manager Hilliard Elkins. McQueen aimed for further advancement and moved to Los Angeles with Neil, but finding success in their careers proved challenging. At that time, a television drama featuring bounty hunters was about to start. Elkins believed this would be a perfect fit for McQueen and pitched it to the producers. In September 1958, McQueen appeared in the Western TV series Wanted, Dead or Alive, fitting perfectly into the role and quickly becoming a TV star. However, McQueen's dream was to become a big Hollywood star. He spared no effort to become a top actor and was always at odds with directors and scriptwriters. And at the age of 29, he finally achieved his long-awaited dream of appearing in a movie. He appeared in Never So Few, starring Frank Sinatra, becoming the first television actor to transition to films in Hollywood. Sinatra told McQueen, "It's going to be your time now." And Sinatra's prediction came true. In 1960, McQueen was cast in the remake of Akira Kurosawa's Japanese film, Seven Samurai, titled The Magnificent Seven. Amidst an impressive cast including Yul Brynner, Charles Bronson, and James Coburn, McQueen received the highest praise from critics. Then, in 1963, he finally secured his place as a star in The Great Escape. In the scene where he jumps on a motorcycle while being chased by the German army, the audience rose to their feet and cheered enthusiastically. For McQueen, this jump symbolized not only his leap from TV star to Hollywood star, but also his self-made journey to stardom. Interestingly, the original script had him crossing the Swiss border by train, but McQueen suggested to the director that it would be more exciting if he crossed it on a motorcycle, and he made it happen. He literally paved his own way to stardom. In The Great Escape, McQueen portrayed a lone wolf character, and he stayed true to his style of following his own path, even in his portrayal. He immersed himself in meticulous details to embody his role, demonstrating a stoic dedication to his craft. He was a completely new type of actor for the time. In 1965, McQueen appeared in The Cincinnati Kid, directed by Norman Jewison. Jewison expressed high praise for McQueen's talent, saying, "I highly appreciated McQueen's ability to exude presence just by standing in front of the camera. He was full of confidence when the camera was rolling." In 1966, he appeared in Nevada Smith and The Sand Pebbles. In The Sand Pebbles, he was finally nominated for an Academy Award. McQueen, despite achieving the status of a Hollywood superstar with his charm and talent, was not satisfied with just being a star. He broke new ground with The Thomas Crown Affair. When McQueen told Jewison that he wanted to do The Thomas Crown Affair, Jewison asked him, "You've never played a character who wears a tie, have you?" McQueen replied, "That's precisely why I want to do it. I want to become that kind of man." In his personal life, McQueen had a love for cars and motorcycles to the extent that he could become a professional racer. He enjoyed the sensation of being on the edge, similar to the feeling of standing on a cliff's edge by pushing the limits. He thrived on danger, whether it was with cars, motorcycles, or relationships. He always sought to push the boundaries. McQueen founded a production company called Solar Productions and ventured into filmmaking. In 1968, he appeared in Bullitt. The rebellious McQueen decided he wanted to do a police drama. The producers thought it was daring for him to choose a film where he played a law enforcement officer on the side of the establishment. He had the ability to evoke empathy from the audience no matter what role he played. McQueen was the perfect embodiment of people's spirit of rebellion. McQueen suggested numerous car action ideas himself. He drove at speeds of up to 160 kilometers per hour in the car action scenes. Bullitt became McQueen's most successful film. In less than a decade, he had risen to the pinnacle of Hollywood. During this peak period, a shocking event occurred. It was the gruesome murder spree committed by the Manson family. Sharon Tate and Jay Sebring, who were killed, were friends of McQueen. Manson's hit list was found, and McQueen's name was on it. He was filled with fear and couldn't leave his house without a gun. Fleeing from such terror, McQueen left Los Angeles. He immersed himself in making movies centered around his hobby, automobile racing. In 1971, he produced and starred in Lum Mans, a film based on car racing. McQueen poured his heart and soul into this movie. He not only starred in it, but also handled everything from producing to casting, and even drove in the film. However, Lum Mans exceeded the initial budget by far. The box office numbers were disappointing, and McQueen's Solar Productions went bankrupt. He was hit by an unprecedented sense of defeat. He was filled with anger and sadness. Moreover, his 15-year marriage with Neil came to an end. He lost his greatest supporter. He poured all his pent-up anger from his personal life into his movies. In 1972, he appeared in The Getaway, directed by Sand Pebbles. He was remarkably skilled at conveying emotions through facial expressions. It seemed like the camera could understand McQueen's intentions even without him saying a word. His co-star, Ollie McGraw, was a popular Hollywood star at the time. A romance blossomed between Ollie and McQueen during this movie. The Getaway was a huge hit, and McQueen and Ollie got married. In 1974, he played a role in Papillon, where he repeatedly escapes from prison. He showed outstanding internal acting in this film. That same year, he appeared in the disaster film The Towering Inferno, set in the world's tallest skyscraper. Initially offered the role of an architect, McQueen suggested creating the role of a fire chief not in the script, believing it would make the movie even more interesting if he played it. The role of the architect went to Paul Newman. While he earned $15 million for this film, McQueen was beginning to tire of continuing as a star in Hollywood. He disappeared from Hollywood. He needed time to reassess himself. To protect his privacy, he bought the land on both sides of his house. It was his own world. It was a place where he had children, loved cars, and was incredibly happy. Returning to the world of film, McQueen embarked on the greatest challenge of his acting career. In 1977, he conceived and starred in An Enemy of the People. It was the first socially conscious film with no car action or suspense. It was a true challenge. McQueen wanted to prove he was a top actor, not just known for his looks or physique. Therefore, he intentionally grew a beard and long hair to obscure his face. However, despite the disparity between McQueen's image and the role, the film turned out to be a failure. The movie studio refused to distribute it, effectively sentencing those involved in its making to failure. This incident led McQueen to fall into drug and alcohol addiction. He divorced Ollie and found himself alone once again. When McQueen turned 48, he met a young woman named Barbara Minton. She had previously dated Warren Beatty and worked as a model. McQueen began talking to her backstage, and their relationship soon became intimate. However, McQueen was battling terminal lung cancer. Soon after, he passed away. As he neared death, he found solace in reading the Bible, smiling until the end. On November 7, 1980, Steve McQueen closed the chapter of his life at the age of 50. A solitary hero, Steve McQueen. The cornerstone of his life was the Boys' Republic, where he spent his youth. Steve McQueen returned to the Boys' Republic, where he had spent his youth, several times a year to talk to the boys after becoming an actor. The Steve McQueen Scholarship Fund was established at this facility, aimed at conveying the message that any dream is achievable with an indomitable spirit.
Please subscribe to my channel. We're gonna show you world masterpieces in about 15 minutes with manga. Manga is Japanese-style comics that is easy for everyone to understand. We're sure that you can grasp the context shortly.
See you next time.